Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angelisa, and on this channel we read, discuss, and obsess over books together. And today I'm going to be doing my January wrap-up and a little like January book haul. I thought I would do it in one video just to, I don't know, I didn't read enough books, I didn't haul enough books to do like a video for each, so I thought I would do one. I usually start off with storygraph statistics. So I actually read 7 books. I have 6 books here plus a audiobook that I listened to, which counts as reading. If you don't think so, you're ableist. And then I do have another book that I'm in the middle of that I guess I'll just tell you guys about briefly. So for the month of January, I read 7 books for a total of 2,907 pages. For moods, I read mostly dark, followed by tense, mysterious, and adventurous, and then emotional, and then lighthearted and funny. They were all fiction. For genres, I read 3 thrillers, 3 fantasy, 2 romance, 2 mystery, 1 middle grade, and 1 contemporary. And my average star rating for the month was 4.57 stars. For that reason, I think I had such a great reading month. Like, I only read 7 books, but they were such good books. I had 4 5-star books. We're gonna talk about which ones they were. Okay, so starting off with the books. So the first book I finished was Heir by Sarah J Maas. So obviously I rated this one 5 stars. I love this series so much, and this book specifically had so much plot development and character development, and I'm just like falling in love with this world and these characters so much, and I don't want it to end. Like, I'm terrified. I'm absolutely terrified to continue and almost be at the end of the series, because next is Queen of Shadows, and then it's a tandem read, and then the last book, and that's it. So I feel like I'm almost at the end, even though I'm only halfway. But I love this so much. If you haven't read the Throne of Glass series and are looking for something to get into fantasy, I would definitely recommend ACOTAR and that series. Like, it's so freaking good. Speaking of which, the next book that I read was a reread of ACOTAR. I wanted to go back and annotate it, so I did do that. I annotated some of my favorite parts in it, / things that I thought would connect to the whole Massiverse, and I ended up rating this one 5 stars as well. I love this book so much. It was one of the first fantasies that I read and really got me obsessed with fantasy and fairy and magic in general. So I would definitely, again, I would recommend trying this series, and in my personal opinion, I would read this before Throne of Glass. Just my opinion. But yeah, I love Sarah J Maas's writing. I love her plot development. I love her characters. I love her storytelling. I'm obsessed with her books, and I'm so glad that she has like 4 or 5 books planned, and that just tells me that she's gonna be writing for a very long time. So next I had another freaking 5-star read, and it was None of This Is True by Jewell. This is now probably one of my top mystery thriller books of all time. I actually posted a video recently of my top 10 mystery thrillers, and this was number 1. Like, I don't know if it was just proximity, the fact that I had read it so recently, but I loved this so much. I loved just being in the mind of these women and seeing how the story unfolded. I thought it was so good, and literally my favorite Jewell book, hands down. But in general, like, it was just, I don't know, I just loved it. The whole podcast element to it, I loved everything about it. I would definitely recommend trying this book. Every person I've recommended it to who has read it has absolutely loved it. So if you're gonna take one book recommendation from me and you're just coming across my channel, it's this book. Read this book. Next, I had read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So I had already watched the movie to this very recently for the first time, and I wanted to read the books. Like, ideally I would have read the books first, but you know what, I didn't mind watching the movie first and then reading the books. I thought it was interesting to compare it and also have the ability to visualize things that the fantasy authors are describing, already having a movie to kind of go off of. I'm not very good at like imagining things like visually, so it really helps to have visuals and like fan art and overlays and like all that stuff. Like, I feel like it just brings it so much more to life. So having a whole movie to go based off of is really cool, but having the details of the book was even better. And I'm definitely going to continue this series and the marathon of watching it, and I'm super excited. I loved how also this didn't, like, one of the genres that came up was middle grade. I know it's this book, but it didn't read as a middle grade at all. Like, it just read like a really fun YA fantasy. Next, I read Twisted Hate by Huang. Okay, this is the 3rd book in the Twisted series, and one thing I will say is that like, I have loved every single Twisted book. I think I've rated all of them 5 stars, and this one I rated 5 stars, but it's definitely my favorite. There is something about two people absolutely hating each other and insulting each other and just being so toxic to each other all the time, and then switching to that like lovey, like developing those feelings and them coming to light, and like it's also like sister's best friend or like best friend's brother type of thing, and it's just it's so good. Like it's so freaking good. And it's a lawyer and a doctor, and like this is my favorite twisted novel, but it's also just like I'm obsessed with the entire series, and I can't wait to read the last one, Twisted Lies. I don't know what else to say about this. I love Anna Huang's writing. I love her characters, and like they honestly feel like family when you're reading them, and I want to get special edition covers of these because they're just like, I love them. I don't know what else to say about that. Like this is just one of my favorites. Yeah, Josh and Jules are my children basically. So after that, I did end up audiobooking something and like kind of reading an ebook a little bit, but mostly audiobooking The Maidens by Michaelides. So this was actually, I knew that this was not going to be like The Silent Patient and like as good as The Silent Patient was, because I've seen reviews of it, and like well, not like spoiler reviews, but like I've heard that it just didn't live up to the hype. So I found it very intriguing. It was so interesting. I liked how it described like some Greek mythology in there and like how it all connected. I thought the mystery was super cool, but you know, the entire time that I was reading, I was like, okay, it's gonna be this person, like it's gonna be this person. I feel like they're not hiding it. And then at the end, like the ending just fell so flat for me, because not only was it not the person I thought, but it also just like didn't really make sense either, and it was just so quick, and I don't know, the ending just fell flat for me. So I ended up rating it 3.5 stars, mostly because it was super intriguing and I thought it was still really worth the read and like worth my time. It was just getting to like that ending part. I'm glad it was short, the ending, because it wasn't worth it. But I also just really enjoyed like how it connected to The Silent Patient a little bit and mentioned some things. I don't know if this one was written before or after or whatever, but this book kind of takes place before The Silent Patient. So yeah, it was super cool and interesting to see that. But I would still recommend reading it if you're into that type of writing and that type of story. I still thought it was really, really cool. It kind of, to me, was like a mix of like The Silent Patient and like Bunny for some reason. So do with that what you will. So the last book I ended up reading for January and finishing was another Lisa Jewell book. So this was The Family Remains. Oh. I just got the title. This whole time I thought it was saying remains, like remains in a place, or she's remaining in the house or something like that, like she's gonna stay, but that's not what that means. Okay, anyway, sorry. So this book I ended up rating 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so much fun. It is a follow-up to The Family Upstairs, which Lisa Jewell generally doesn't write follow-up books to her like standalones, but apparently everybody really, really wanted a follow-up and to be able to read in Henry's point of view again. So for that reason, it was really cool. The first book was more of like a gothic mystery thriller I found, where this was more of like an investigative like crime mystery thriller. So for that reason, it was a little bit different, but it was also really fun because, you know, the character's a little bit like more grown up in this, and I thought the switch made sense, but it also felt like you were reading a book by a completely different author. But either way, I really did like this. It was 4 stars. It was cute. It wasn't very twisty. It wasn't very thrilling. So that's why I ended up knocking it down to 4 stars. So those were all the books that I finished this month. I am in the middle of a book that I thought I'd just share with you guys really quick. So I'm in the middle of Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I'm literally just at the beginning of it. I didn't realize how thick this book was. Like, I'm 5 chapters in, but it's such a thick book. There are like, I don't want to know, I'm terrified. 66. So yeah, I'm not that into it at all, but I'm enjoying it. I love the writing style. I love the characters. I already feel like I want to protect these characters my entire life, and like any judgment that is passed on to them, like I'll fight you. So that's how I'm doing with Magnolia Park so far, and it's fun to slowly notice all the little clues on the book that are on the cover. So yeah, that's really fun. Anyway, those are the books that I read this month. Now we're gonna quickly go on to the books I've accumulated, because, you know, I've read 7, so of course I had to accumulate like 6 because why put a dent in my TBR when I can just keep on leveling it out? But, you know, all of these books were either pre-orders or I had a gift card of some kind. So we're just gonna go with that explanation. So the first one is Anna O by, I actually don't know this author, Matthew Blake. So this is actually kind of a, when I read the synopsis, it reminded me of The Silent Patient, which is why I picked it up. So let me just read it to you quickly. So I actually had talked about this in my pre-order for 2024 video, where I talked about a bunch of books that you should pre-order before 2024 or for the year of 2024 that are coming out, and this was one of them. So I got it on pre-order and it came to my house this month, and yeah, when I heard the synopsis I was like, this is really cool. So it says, okay, so first of all, it says, joining the ranks of Gillian Flynn and Alex Michaelides, Matthew Blake delivers the thriller of the year, a dark, twisty, and shocking mystery about a young woman who commits a double murder under the most unlikely of circumstances. So, what really happens and what are we capable of when we sleep? What if our nightmares really aren't nightmares at all? Anna O. Gilvey, thank God she's just gonna be called Anna O, is a budding 25-year-old writer with a bright future. Then one night she stabs 2 people to death in her sleep and never wakes up. Anna, now dubbed Sleeping Beauty by the tabloids, has a rare psychosomatic disorder known as resignation syndrome. Dr. Benedict Prince is a forensic psychologist and an expert in the field of sleep-related homicides. To solve the case, he must wake up Anna so she can stand trial. But he has to be careful. Anna's a high-profile suspect, and he's got career secrets and a complicated personal life of his own. As Anna shows the first signs of stirring, Benedict must determine what really happened and whether she should be responsible for her crimes. Only Anna knows the truth about that night, and only Benedict knows how to discover it. But what they find out may put them both in grave danger. So yeah, kind of reminds me of The Silent Patient, but it's interesting because she's like asleep. So I thought it was really cool, and I thought the cover was also like kind of cool. And yeah, so I was super excited when I saw this, and actually really excited to read it. I wanted to pick it up right away, but I told myself like I have other books I need to get to first. The next one that I got was Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. Now, no, I have not read her first book, Heather Fawcett, but I've heard a million things about it, and I ended up pre-ordering this because A, cover is so freaking cute. It matches the other one so well, and like the spines, like they're so pretty together. 1. 2, my friend who has the exact same like book taste as me read it and she loved it, so I know I'm gonna love these. I don't know why I'm justifying myself. This is the next book that I got. I think it's a follow-up to the first book, and in this one she's making a map, whereas the first one she's making like an encyclopedia, and there's like a bit of an adventure, and I think there's a tiny bit of romance but not a lot. So yeah, anyway, moving on. Then I got a gift card from my lovely boss, like my old boss. But anyway, with his gift card, I bought myself 2 books. So the first one I bought was Beartown by Frederick, what's his name? It's like covered here. Frederick Backman. Sorry, Frederick. And I've heard a million things about this book. I am gonna take off this sticker, don't worry. I don't mind these gold ones because they're kind of pretty, but I still want it off. Okay, there we go. Sometimes I'll just put them on my bookshelf. So Beartown, I've heard a million things about this, specifically from Lauren Gambly. Lauren's Reading Corner on Instagram / on YouTube, and she absolutely loved this book. And when I read the synopsis, I thought it sounded very interesting, and also just like I'm wanting more like reflective reads, so I thought this would be really good, so I picked it up. And I also picked up by Jessa Hastings. So this is her new, I think it's gonna be a series. This book is gorgeous. Like the gold foiling, it's not never, it's never. Gold foiling is beautiful, the art is beautiful, like everything about it is just so beautiful, and I'm really excited about this book. Like I'm so excited, and I know that I love her writing now, so that's why I was like, I'm gonna just pick it up. The next one I got was obviously a pre-order, and it is Crescent City 3, House of Flame and Shadow. So I am still on the Throne of Glass series, but I had to pre-order this. I wanted the exclusive edition, and at Indigo, usually after the first like round, they no longer sell the exclusive editions to books unless they keep on producing them, but sometimes they won't. So I want to snag a copy, and I will say I don't agree with the like 5 different versions of the book having different bonus chapters. Like I think that's really stupid, and I do hope that she posts them online. but I'm excited for this book. Holy crap, there's like 100 chapters in this. This is insane. But I'm excited for this series and this book and to get to the end of Throne of Glass because I do want to go into this one, but I'm also still terrified. But yeah, it's also just gorgeous. Like, take a minute to just like the foiling, the side, and then the end papers are just so pretty. Like, I can't even. Just so pretty. So yeah, I thought that was gorgeous. The maps are really cool too. I don't want to read the map because I feel like it might be spoiler, but yeah. Alright, the last book that I got was kind of like a last minute thing. I wanted to pick up a book for February by a Black author, and B, I wanted more reflective, kind of like non-fiction books. This is literally still wrapped, but this is called Somebody's Daughter. It's a memoir. I'm gonna unwrap it just so I can read the synopsis for you. But when I saw it, it kind of like popped up on my recommended. And so I picked it up. It was on sale and I wanted something of this genre to read for February. So I love reading memoirs. They're cool, like nonfiction to me. So anyway, this one says, one of the most prominent voices of her generation debuts with an extraordinarily powerful memoir, the story of a childhood defined by the looming absence of her incarcerated father. Through poverty, adolescence, and a fraught relationship with her mother, Ashley Ford wishes she could turn to her father for hope and encouragement. There are just a few problems. He's in prison, and she doesn't know what he did to end up there. She doesn't know how to deal with the incessant worries that keep her up at night or how to handle the changes in her body that draw unwanted attention from men. In her search for unconditional love, Ashley begins dating a boy her mother hates. When the relationship turns sour, he assaults her. Still reeling from the rape, which she keeps secret from her family, Ashley desperately searches for meaning in the chaos. Then her grandmother reveals the truth about her father's incarceration, and Ashley's entire world is turned upside down. Somebody's Daughter steps into the world of growing up a poor Black girl in Indiana with a family fragmented by incarceration and explores how isolating and complex such a childhood can be. As Ashley battles her body and her environment, she embarks on a powerful journey to find the threads between who she is and what she was born into, and the complicated familial love that often binds them. I thought it sounded so intriguing and just like, I feel like a very powerful story. So I picked it up and I'm gonna put it on my February TBR. Even though I already made that video, I'm just gonna put it on my February TBR because I picked it up like after I filmed that video by accident. But anyway, that is all the books that I've read and accumulated over the month of January. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment down below what you read in January. I always love to hear what you guys have read recently. And yeah, thank you guys so much for all of your support. I recently hit 3,000 subscribers. I don't know if I mentioned that on here, but it means the world to me that you guys support me, and I love you guys so much. And yeah, so on that note, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps me so much when you guys support me. Anyway, I love you guys so much and I hope to see you in the next video.